Hey everyone, it's Mike. Before we start the episode, I have a cool question to ask. Do you own a brewery? Do your customers love trivia as much as I do? Well, then you better listen up. Because Geeks Who Drink weekly trivia nights are the cornerstone of event programming for over 650 breweries and bars nationwide. Geeks Who Drink trivia is consistently fun and low-effort way to build a community of regulars because we all need our norms, cliffs, and all that, but we want to bring more people in as well. So you can even turn that slow weeknight into the busiest night of the week. So get started with this exclusive offer for my Taproom listeners and get your first quiz night free. Go to geekswhodrink.com/taproom and enter promo code Taproom. That's geekswhodrink.com/taproom, promo code Taproom. And now, on to the episode. All right, and we're back. This is episode 86 of the Taproom Podcast, and I'm your host, Mike. Oh man, I'm tired. It's about 7:53 on a Sunday morning, and I'm out in Arizona visiting some fam. Got to record with PHX Beer Co., their brewers, Brian and Eric, on Friday, which was really fun. So looking forward to hearing you guys hearing that episode. This episode is with Rob Scott, the head brewer of LA Aleworks over in Hawthorne. What a great dude and such an easy conversation. I said Eevee. Maybe I was playing Pokemon Snap the other day. Sorry. Sue me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Rob Scott, honestly, such an easy conversation to have. Everything just flowed and it was just a really good time. He's a really good dude and a really good brewer. So looking forward to you guys hearing the interview. This is probably going to be a really short intro because I got to get on the road here pretty soon back to California. Big weekend in college football. It was crazy. Bama lost. SC lost. Well, 5 teams, I think, in the top 15 lost. Even, it could have been 6. Couldn't believe Miami was struggling with Cal. I mean, they ended up pulling it out 39-38. It was just a wild game. The Rock came back at Bad Blood yesterday. I know, not a ton of wrestling fans out there, or at least, from my listeners. But yeah, it was a really, really fun weekend out here. Thanks to Jammin for, usually he's on the episode when we do it, but it's a little, we're not staying too long on a Sunday. Usually we stayed through Monday, but back to work tomorrow, back on the grind. We're going to jump into some polls. So the polls this week were for playoff baseball. I almost forgot about the playoffs. Yeah. We'll get into that next week. I was going to do that this week, but we'll get into that next week. The question was, what's your favorite ballpark food with a beer? The poll was, was it beer and hot dogs, beer and nachos, or beer and a burger? 55% of the vote said beer and hot dogs, which I'm totally good with. I'd rather have a hot dog at a ball game. 29% of the vote, beer and nachos, and 16% beer and burger. And then the next one after that was do you eat nacho cheese, or do you ever eat nacho cheese with your hot dog? 63% of the vote of you are right, saying yes. And 37% of you, I don't know what you've been doing your whole life. You've been missing out. The questions of the week, let's see here. And it says, what beer company has this slogan? Born in the land of sky blue waters. The answers were Hamm's, Coors Banquet, or Busch. And the answer was Hamm's. And Hamm's is a sleeper. And I believe 188 votes said Hamm's, 165 votes said Busch, and 92 votes said Coors Banquet. Hamm's is a sleeper, man. If I was going to have a domestic, I think it probably would be Hamm's. It's one of my favorites. I do like to cook with Coors Banquets. You can't go wrong with it. But Hamm's is always the ones you never really think about right away. But then when you do, you're like, oh, dang, yeah, Hamm's is bomb. And last question was the bonus question. When was the magic 8-ball invented? The answers were 1946, 1959, 1963, or 1977. The answer is 1946. I was shocked when I saw this. And I was trying to scramble to try to find because work was so busy last week, a question to come up with. And this one I was like, I don't know how I came up with it. I think I was watching Toy Story, honestly, or it was on in the background. And when Woody shakes the magic 8-ball. And I was like, okay, there it is. I think it's Woody. But yeah, that's all I got this week. So enjoy the interview with Rob Scott. Stay tuned for the outro, and we'll go over some upcoming guests. All right. Cheers. Enjoy. All right, guys, we're back in the tap room, and I'm your host, Mike, and I have a very special guest on today. It's Rob Scott, the head brewer of LA Aleworks. How's it going, brother?
Doing good.
Yeah. Glad you got to come on.
Yeah, me too. Glad Dario set it up, and because I've heard of the podcast and seen it, and when I saw he was on, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then got the text from him saying, "Hey, do you want to do it? Trying to get more brewers to do it." I was like, "Yeah, sure, totally down."
Awesome. You don't worry. Well, we hear Morgan right now, but we won't hear when this comes out. So we're having a beer right now. Should we start off with that, and then we'll jump into your craft beer journey?
Yeah. Salud.
And what are we drinking?
This is Nominal, so it's the latest West Coast IPA we did. It's got Centennial, Mosaic Cryo, and Cashmere, which is a combination that I can think of done before since I've been here. It's a really nice combo. The Mosaic Cryo really pops in it, and like everyone's really stoked on it.
Oh, that's good, man. That's really good. Dang. One of my buddies used to say Cashmere is the sexiest of the hops.
It's good. The first beer I did here, I used Mosaic and Cashmere. We didn't have Cryo at the time, but Mosaic Cashmere was a good combination. It was a pale ale.
Okay. Yeah. And I feel like you don't really see Cashmere like a ton, really. So
not as much
stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Now that I think about it, it was like it had like a really big boom when everyone was kind of using it. I think when it first came out, which is normal for any new hop to come out. But yeah, I rarely see it now. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a nice hop.
No, it's great. Yeah. And you're right. It is juicy, but it's also like really like refreshing, and it's like got some crispy notes to it too. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about how you got started in craft beer.
So it was 2012, I believe. It was like year one of me being unemployed. Okay. I worked at a grocery store before that. So Albertsons. And I got fired because I was late to work too many times.
Oh, no.
Which is hilarious because I lived like less than a mile and a half from there. So I shouldn't have ever been late. I was in my 20s. I was like,
it happens, yeah.
And so I got fired from there. And I was on unemployment. And my rent at the time, which is going to sound crazy.
Yeah.
This is in Rosemont, a very small town. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
My rent at the time, and I had a roommate, was $400.
Oh, shit. Dang.
So my unemployment covered that and plus some. So I was just chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling at home. And then like after that first year, I was like, man, now I'm bored. At first, it was like really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting paid to just chill at home. And then the boredom set in. And I was like, man, I got to do something. And my buddy Devin, one of my best friends, one of my oldest friends, was working at Kinetic. That was the first brewery in the Antelope Valley. I think they opened right before Bravery did.
Okay.
Not even, maybe a few months ahead. But they were the first one to start. And he was working there as a dishwasher. And he was like, hey, I'm moving up to start busting tables if you want to take the dishwashing position. And I was like, you know what, dude? I'll take it. Because sitting at home, it sounds cool for a little bit, but it was so boring. I was like, man, my roommate still worked.
Yeah.
So like he'd be gone. And then all day I'm just like at home watching Netflix, bored, I smoked a ton of weed at that time.
There you go.
So I was just at home, just baked. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, I need to get out of the house. And I had never heard of that brewery. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, be a dishwasher. And started there 2013. And that was like my first introduction into small craft breweries. Not like, I've had like Lagunitas before that.
Yeah.
All those,
like some of the bigger.
Firestone Walkers. All that kind of stuff. But it was the first like local small thing I'd had. So every shift, you were allowed to shift beer.
Okay.
So the first couple shifts I worked there, I was like, okay, I'll try like their lightest beer, which was a Kolsch technically.
Okay.
But they called it a blonde because the people in that area just weren't familiar with craft beer in that sense. So if you called it Kolsch, they'd be like, oh, what's that?
Yeah,
like, they would know what it's called.
But and they want to stay away from it. Yeah.
Exactly. So a blonde is more appealing. To like that average consumer. So that's what we called it, but it was actually a Kolsch. And that became and still is my favorite style of beer.
Okay.
Because the first time I had it was like, man, this is really good. Like, it's like super light, crushable, but it just had that Kolsch yeast character that I really like.
Oh, yeah.
And that I didn't know existed at the time. Yeah, so I started there, dishwashing. And then eventually I moved from that to busting tables.
Okay.
And then from busting tables, Robert Sanchez, who was the person that was brewing there at the time, Alex Noel and Chris Gonzalez used to work there.
All right.
They started Three Weavers together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they were brewing there right around the time that I got hired. And then they left shortly after to start Three Weavers.
Yeah.
But Robert Sanchez took over that spot, and he didn't have an assistant. So it was just him brewing and cellaring, cleaning kegs, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
And so by the time I was busting tables, like like as this whole time that's going, my palate's like changing too. I'm like, man, I like trying our pale ales and
Of course.
robust porters and all of that.
Yeah.
Because they did a little bit of everything there. And I think I remember, I don't know, this is probably 2014, a year in, I had seen him like struggling. And he used to live in LA too. So that's
Wow.
a almost 2-hour drive every day.
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy.
And so he was kind of burnt by most weeks, like the end of the week.
I bet.
And so one day I asked Steve, who was the owner, I was like, hey, do you plan on hiring anybody to help him out? And he's like, I'm like, I want to, but I haven't, he's busy owning the business and trying to help run it and all that kind of stuff too. And so I was like, well, I can jump back there and learn how to wash kegs and eventually tanks or whatever. And he was like, all right, cool. So like, it was just that. Oh,
nice.
Quick.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure. Like it was easier for him to just hire me to do that than to find someone.
You're already there. So yeah.
Yeah. And I was eager to learn. So yeah, I think half of my shifts of the week were busting tables and the other half was like cleaning kegs.
Wow.
For the first couple months. And then slowly graduated into cleaning tanks. And a little bit after that, it happened so fast now that I think about it. Like the timeline from when I started working there to when I brewed my first beer on my own was like 2 years. And half of that was dishwashing.
Wow.
So it was pretty fast how it happened. But I think at that time I was such a sponge and like so green into it and fresh that I wanted to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I do that with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like with music, like I want to play every song I could try to play. And like sports, like tried to play as many sports as I could as a kid. So I just like constantly always wanted to be better at whatever I was doing and try to be the best at what I was doing. And so, yeah, by 2015, I was brewing on my own on that system there. And funny that I heard about later is Steve didn't know that I was brewing, that Robert was teaching me.
Yeah.
Because he can be sometimes, I guess I want to say this in the right way, like maybe judgmental in the right way, going like, oh, like he can't learn how to brew that fast.
Yeah.
Like, that's like pretty tough thing to do.
Of course.
But Robert was such a great teacher that the way he explained things, and also I was reading how to brew at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was reading how to brew, cellaring in the back, working in the front, and like it was all happening simultaneously. So everything just stuck a lot easier. And so they were going to, I believe it was JBF or CCBA in Sacramento.
Wow.
So we're leaving for like a week or close to a week. But a beer needed to get brewed. And Steve's like, oh, we got to change the schedule for this, whatever. And then Robert's like, no, Rob's got it.
Yeah.
He could do it. He's like, I remember seeing his face. He's like,
what the fuck?
He's like, he knows how to brew?
Yeah.
I was like, Robert is really good at teaching. And just the way he explained it made so much sense.
That's good.
And so, yeah, 2015 was my first solo brew on my own. But I was brewing before that, helping Robert. Like we would work kind of the same schedule. Like I think it was 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., something like that. And we worked together. So doing the cellar, and while I'm doing the cellar stuff or washing kegs, he'd be like, hey, toss in the hops at this time. Or you want to mash in today? Yeah. So he would slowly like bring me into the process of it while I was learning the process of it in the book. So it really helped. And yeah, that's how I started into it. It was just asking my boss. If I had never asked him, I don't think he would have ever been like, hey, do you want to, you want to try it here? Yeah. So I'm glad I did. And yeah, that's really how it started.
Yeah.
Didn't really homebrew a ton. Devin, the guy that got me the job, was the only homebrewing I did. Okay. I did more drinking than brewing. Yeah. And we did an amber ale, and it was gross. It turned out gross. Yeah. That was the only technically time I ever homebrewed. Yeah. But yeah, I went straight from dishwashing to cellaring to brewing.
That's crazy.
Within like a 6 month, 8 month span.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's why I love like those kind of stories, because like you never, everybody's just different.
Yeah. Everyone's like path onto getting there is really crazy. Like hearing Dario's is really cool too. Yeah. Some of that stuff I didn't even know. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's really interesting. But he's the best, dude. Dario's awesome.
Oh yeah. No, he's such a great guy. I had it recorded with him, Danny, and Jared from Beer to Tang.
I saw that.
Day. Yeah, that was such a fun conversation with those three guys. But yeah, man, it's really cool. Like hearing that going from dishwashing to cleaning, washing kegs, cleaning the tanks, and then to brewing. Yeah. And so that beer you brewed, that went to GABF then?
No, that one was just like our house amber ale that we did. Yeah. Okay. But it was such a popular beer. Yeah. That we needed to have it on all the time, because I think 2013, 2014, that era, like red ales were like really big, and amber ales and hoppy amber ales. And also, like I meant I mentioned about that community, like not knowing too much about craft beer, it was such an approachable beer too.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't too bitter and it wasn't too sweet. It was like just like right in the middle. So it was one of the most popular beers that they did. And so for them to not be able to brew it because they were going to be gone, Steve was like freaking out, like, oh, we got to have that beer on. Because people, like, especially in that area, they'd be like, I was bartending there too also.
Oh, okay.
So after I left busing, I was bartending and doing cellar.
Wow.
So every beer I helped make, I also poured.
That's awesome.
So like I'd be able to talk to the customers and
you
have
get that
more
feedback.
Yeah, get feedback, and also had more knowledge about it too.
Yeah.
Like they would have certain questions about him, and like I would just have that foreknowledge because I happened to be making it also. But they were freaking out about it being not on tap. So that beer was just a house beer. But eventually, like I got to do my own recipes eventually, which was really cool too. Yeah.
And then after that, how did you end up here, or were you at other breweries after that?
Yeah. So I had a 3-year stint at each brewery I worked at. This is the longest I've worked anywhere.
Okay.
So Connecticut, I was there for 3 years, 2013 to 2016. 2016, and we'd won a JBF bronze that year of 2016 with a chocolate beer. That was Robert's recipe. I brewed it, and Stefan, who works here with me at Aleworks, he helped mill it and helped do the cellar work and all that. So it was like a huge team effort, but it was like the first JBF medal that I think actually the third that Connecticut had won, but it was the first one that we won as a team.
That's
so
awesome.
That was pretty cool. And then 2016 to 2020, roughly, was at State Brewing in Gardena.
Okay.
So not far from here.
Yeah.
It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
When I was there for 3 years, I worked there with Robert also. And then he was gone in 2019, I believe, 2018. And I took over as head brewer there. And then Stefan helped brew like half of the week, and he was doing like some taproom stuff also. And then started here during the pandemic in 2020.
Okay.
Of June 2020. Yeah.
Dang. What was that like when you first came over?
It was crazy because in February of 2020, this was right before the pandemic like really got bad.
Yeah.
State closed.
Yeah.
So they didn't have enough money to keep going. And it was sad because like at that time I had done like my first like hop selection, which I'd never done.
Wow.
I actually wasn't there to do it, but like Stefan and Jared, who now works at Long Beach Beer Lab, they went up for me in Washington and hand selected a bunch of these hops. And I said, hey, I trust you guys. I trust you guys' palates and your nose. Write down what tastes or what smells really good in your hand, and then pick those lots, and I trust you. When they brought those hops back, it was the best our beers had tasted, hop-wise.
Wow.
And it like proved to me like how crucial it is to do that. You can actually hand select them yourself. And then we shut down like 2 months later. And I was like, man, I had beers in the tanks that were like for getting ready for our anniversary also that were just tasting amazing. I was like, man, I can't wait for people to try them. And then like a few weeks later, like, yeah, we're shutting down.
Wow.
But it was also a blessing too, because I got unemployment like that.
Yeah.
and then the world shut down. So
yeah.
It was pretty nuts.
Man, it was a crazy time, especially like, I felt like, craft beer kind of got like, the brunt of like a lot of the shit. Like, how was it okay to have like some bars open, but not a brewery? It didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't think they knew what to do with it. Like, it never really happened like that before. So I think they went with what they thought was the right thing, and then they figured out later, like, oh, it really was kind of a bad. And like the small businesses are the one that took the real hits.
Oh yeah, because it was fine to have 1,000 people in a Walmart, but not okay for a couple hundred people at a brewery.
Yeah, a lot of it was not well thought out. But like, man, I don't even know what I would do in that position if it were me.
That's true. Yeah,
like I would think, like or maybe they thought it in their best interest that if 1,000 people at Walmart is better than 40 people in a bar.
Yeah,
where a bar is already kind of more dirty. So like it's already dirty. At least in Walmart, you can go like to different sections.
That's
You're
true.
not too, but I get what you're saying though.
Yeah.
Like, I think they thought they went the right way about it. So yeah, working during it was really crazy.
Okay.
Because it was already like full speed ahead by the time I got hired here. And then when State closed, I had no idea anyone was going to hire. Like that's how bad it was and how scared a lot of people were. So yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
And like, bar not being open, so we're only doing like cans to go, and like everyone's wearing masks and stuff, and we're still brewing. Like we didn't close or shut down or anything. We just like pivoted way heavy into canning, and to go stuff. So it was really weird to not see anybody, just the brewery.
Yeah,
like, the only people I ever saw, and like some taproom people, but it was weird.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I mean, and I know a lot of breweries. Yeah, they pivoted to just selling 4-packs. And I know some of them actually like, made a killing off of it too. Cause I mean, it was like, we had nothing else to do but stay home and drink. So, and, going and, buying, more craft beer, I felt like that was, at least for me, because I was always, I got into it like, when I was like Stone and stuff like that. But like Dogfish Head was probably like the one I really fell in love with.
Yeah.
But
90 Minute.
Oh yeah, 90 Minutes great. But like Midas Touch, like that was one that was like, oh my gosh, it was so good. But then I kind of fell out of like craft beer, got into whiskey a little bit. But then during the pandemic, when me and my brother started doing the show, that's when the craft beer came back for me. So
nice.
Yeah, and now it's like that was like I was going to the different breweries trying to buy 4-packs, doing stuff like that. So it was or just trying to find a craft beer liquor store that I can get stuff from. So
yeah, no, it was definitely weird. Like it was weird getting hired, but also like when I got hired here, like I already knew Kip and Andrew like from being at State. Like whenever I was tired of being there, which was all the time, I would work like 12-hour shifts there when I took over every day. And I was there on weekends, like checking on fermentation, and like I felt like I'd never left that place. But when I did, I'd come here or Common Space or where else would I go? At the time, they were open. Phantom Carriage. I used to go there a lot.
Oh yeah,
because they were kind of close, and they had a bomb turkey sandwich that I used to get all the time for lunch. Nice. Like I'd take a long lunch, like 45-minute lunch, and go there and have their turkey sandwich. It was so good.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh no, we were talking. When you got here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. So during the pandemic, it was weird, but I loved it. Working here, like everyone's really cool. I love the taproom people. Andrew's been treating me really good here. And I had like other opportunities to go right after I got hired here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I could say it. It's fine to say. Yeah. But I got an email from Evan at Green Cheek.
Oh.
A month after I got hired here. He's like, hey man, sorry I've been busy. Do you want to come in for, talk?
Yeah.
I was like, I just said
I just said yes to this place.
I just said yes. I started here a month ago. But I mean, thinking about it, I'm like, man, that would have been really cool to work with him.
Oh yeah.
And like how amazing like his beers have been since like I've known about him, like with Noble and everything. Like since then, just seeing him just go like this.
Yeah.
Just like, and like the quality of the beers, the people he has brewing for him and with him is crazy. So that would have been really cool. But, when those types of things happen, it's like, all right, well, I think I made the right choice for me at the time.
Yeah.
I can still go drink Green Cheek beer. That's nice. I don't live too far from there. But yeah, I love it here. It's been great. And like I broke the 3-year curse. So
there you go.
This is year 4.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Evan have always said like he's like a white whale. One of the ones I would always want like to get on the show, but maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe. Hey,
yeah,
I think you can get it.
Oh yeah, and because you live right by Ism, you said right? Yeah, is Ian, man.
Yeah, that's another one.
Guy just fucking puts out bangers like every time, like, and then goes like opens up the brewery, goes to WBC and wins like what 3 or 4 medals.
Yeah, gold for IPA.
Yeah,
at the World Beer Cup is crazy.
That's insane.
And they've been open for like 4 months.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that just proves like Ian's like a legend for sure. Like when I think about brewers that I look up to, he's one of them for sure. Evan is one of them. Alex Noel, who's not brewing stuff right now, but she is opening something in, I think it's, I forget. I'm going to ruin where it's at. It's in the Midwest somewhere.
Okay.
It's called Melatonin. Ooh. But I just saw her like post about it like recently. I'm like, oh, it's really dope. Like she's going to start her own thing. But I look up to her too. She's awesome. She was the one brewing the beers that I fell in love with when I first started at Kinetic. So first woman brewmaster I'd ever met. So that was really cool.
Awesome.
And she's the best. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, Ian.
Oh, man.
Killer. And Gene, all them. This guy just started with them. Chepe, he just started working with them. He used to work at Green Cheek.
Oh, wow.
With Evan, yeah. I can't remember which one. Maybe it was like both locations, but yeah, they got a star crew over there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's the good thing about like one of the best things about the industry. Like there's so many great brewers out there and there's so many, just great beers and like, the breweries opening up and like being able to like, it's tough sometimes just trying to choose where to go.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do I want to go here or go there? So.
And not be like too, like if you're comfortable with the place, like me and my girl go to Ism all the time.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
I also work at Hilo. It's like a craft beer like bottle shop.
Okay.
So we'll sometimes go there because they have a really good selection of stuff at the bar.
Yeah.
This guy Chase is the beer buyer and he always gets really cool stuff. But if I'm not at Ism, we try to like, we'll get like, all right, where are we going to go this weekend? One place that either we haven't been in a while or like a new spot to go check out. So we do that like almost every weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
But we have our 2, because she lives in Montclair, like the Pomona area.
Gotcha.
So we have our 2 areas of where we go exclusively, which is for her on her side of town is Homage.
Oh, okay.
So we go to Homage. She lives like 10 minutes from.
Do you know, is it Andrea that works there? She does like cellar, but she's starting to brew
brewing
too.
there. Yeah. I saw that, but I haven't met her.
Okay. Yeah, she's really nice. And like, I've been wanting to go out there for a while. I just haven't had a chance to get out there though.
Yeah. But Homage is where we're usually at. And if not there, we're over here in Long Beach, like Ism for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Or Ambitious. I love those guys.
Oh, yeah. Ambitious. They make some good beers. And I love Long Beach Beer Lab. Like Nadav, before he moved back to Israel, was like one of my favorite like brewers. Like just one of my favorite, like, became one of my really good friends too. So
yeah. I was just there on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So my buddy, like I say, my buddy Jared brews there now.
Okay.
He was at Hop Saint and then just started there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he took his spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I love their, when they only do it like once a year, but they do the series for Princess Bride. And they do that brewed IPA. Oh, dude, yeah,
super good,
so good, man. It's called Brute Squad, and it looks like the mouse is like, or the rats like under the giant.
Oh, okay. I gotta keep an eye out for that. I haven't heard anybody say brute IPA in a long time.
It's hard to. I mean, they're you don't really see them on menus, but yeah, like I love that super dry finish. Sometimes,
sure.
But it only I think it comes out in like February or something like that. So.
Cool. I'll keep an eye out for it. Now that he started working there, I'm like, well, it's on my way home from here. So
there you go.
So I can always pop in and say what's up to him, mess with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. He worked with me at State for a little bit too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was only like 3-4 months.
Wow.
Because we hired him, I think, in November of 2019. And then I was like, he had no brewing experience, but had a ton of cellar experience. So he like really helped clean up the cellar better and just be more efficient. Because he was at Three Weavers, so that at that scale, like he had a lot of really good skills that really helped us out. But then we closed in February, so like he brewed twice, I think maybe.
Wow!
And I was supposed to take a vacation, which I hadn't in the 3 years I was there. Never took a vacation.
Oh man, I have work ethic, man.
Yeah, I actually have never taken a vacation. I think the most days I've had off in a row is like 4.
Okay.
And it's like I tie them into like the weekend too, so it doesn't even count.
Yeah,
I need like an actual whole week and the weekend gone. So that's hopefully something I'm going to try to do this year coming up is like take an actual, I have so much PTO, dude.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm going to take it and actually use it this time.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Because I'm starting to feel it. I'm only 35, but
yeah. Dude, but you need that break though, man. Yeah. You need to just kind of unwind and like just like recharge the batteries.
Yeah. The break I do get is for my birthday, which is around Thanksgiving. So you only get kind of a break there, and then I just lump my birthday into it. Mm-hmm. So I get that's the 4-day
there you go.
break that I get.
That's my 4-day weekend.
But yeah.
That's cool, man. One thing I always love to ask any brewers, like, what's the worst brew day you ever had?
I want to say, I heard what Dario's answer was. He was something like a stuck mash, which on the older brew house, not the one that we have now, used to happen so often. So it happened so often that it didn't bother me anymore. I was like, I'm probably going to get stuck today. Yeah. Just the way that the grates were designed, like you just have to use so much more rice hulls than I've ever used. Yeah. And so as a precaution, now we use rice hulls all the time. And even back then when we figured it out, we were like, okay, well, you have to use it every beer. Yeah. Now it's not as bad, which is nice. But I think the worst brew day was probably when I did a Imperial like pastry stout at State, and it was 4-hour boil. Dang. So my day was like 14 hours. Shit. It was so long that I slept in the middle of the boil. Oh. Which is not the safest thing to do. But like I had been brewing on that system for a while. So I'm like, all right, it's not going to boil over. I put enough firm cap in there. And our kettle was steam. So it heated it like this, like on the sides of it, not from the bottom. So it's less likely to boil over. And I only did first running, so the kettle wasn't really full all the way. So I was like, even if this boils for like 6 hours, it's not going to boil over. So I napped in between. Oh. Woke up, set an alarm, woke up, and I'm like, still boiling? All right, went back to sleep. Yeah. But it was such a long day. Yeah. Oh, man. So that was probably the worst one. But then, like, thinking about it, I'm like, oh, well, it was like such a popular thing that I heard about people doing, like to really make the body of your stout like more robust without you being filling, I guess is the way to describe it. So I heard like Bottle Logic was doing that for a lot of their like stouts, like Dark Star November, all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. So we started adopting that into like the pastry stouts we were doing. And it definitely like, you could tell the difference between a regularly boiled and like a 4-hour, just like the consistency of it. Yeah. But I think that was the last time I did that. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this again. I don't know if I want another 14-hour day. We also weren't selling that much stout to begin with, so it would have lasted like a year probably. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably the worst one.
Okay.
It was just a really long, and it was like towards the end of the week too. So the week was already long, and then the last, I think it was like a Thursday I did it,
Yeah.
and so I didn't go to bed till like 4 a.m. or something.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
How do you feel about pastry stouts?
I like sampling them.
Same.
I don't know if I'm
not drinking a whole
one
one.
on my solo. Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
In my 20s maybe, but now when I drink beers like that, or like even like higher ABV IPAs or double IPAs, pastry stouts, whatever, it's like your age. I feel like my age hits me harder. Like I wake up way more hungover than I used to. So anything above 8%, I'm like, oh, my body just can't do it. It can't process it anymore like it used to. So if someone's like, hey, I got this bottle I brought, like share it. Like, yeah, I'll do a little 4-ouncer. Like that's cool.
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate the time it takes to make those, and that it's a lot of work to make them.
Oh, for sure.
I definitely like to try them for sure.
Oh yeah, I love to, just like you said, like 4 or 5 ounce pour. That's perfect. Because I mean, they taste amazing, but just a whole bottle of that for me, I'd be like, no.
If it's that whole bottle, that's all I'm drinking the whole day.
Yeah,
because you'll be done after that.
Oh, for sure. One thing I wanted to ask you is like, because when it comes to, like sometimes like the brewer's mentality where we always want to like, continue to grow and continue to like to change and stuff like that, but then balancing like the creativity and the consistency when it comes to the brewing process. Like, because, you may make the best like West Coast IPA out there, and then like, but then a part of you is still like, man, but I can probably tweak it to do this or or do a little bit like that. So when it comes to the consistency and the creativity part, like how do you balance those two?
Well, I think creatively, a cool thing about working here is at most breweries at this scale, they kind of don't, at least from my experience and like people I've talked to, like don't really allow a lot of that kind of creativity. It's like once in a while.
Yeah.
At this scale. Like if you're smaller, I think that window's a lot more open for you to do a lot more experimental stuff. But when you're doing like this, which is basically a production facility, you kind of have to do consistency.
Yeah.
Like especially with your highest selling beers. So it kind of does it on its own. I really don't have to either mention anything to Andrew or Zeke, who's the brewery operations. I never have to say like, hey, I want to do this style. They kind of most of the time ask me first, which is nice.
Oh, that's cool.
They're like, hey, do you want to do like this one-off beer? Hey, we need a hazy IPA recipe or something. And they, not Zeke so much, but Andrew has had a lot of my beer at State. And we were doing a lot of really cool hazy IPAs, and he's had them before. And so I think he already just kind of trusts that I'm going to write something nice and that it'll do really well. And then as far as consistency, like, because we're a production facility, like we have to be. So it's already there. Like we're doing Palmera all the time. We're doing Lunar Kitten all the time. We're doing Dead Cowboy all the time. Those beers are always in rotation. Like we have 2 Palmeras in the tanks right now. And 2 Lunars in the tanks right now.
Nice.
Just like that's how much we're doing it. So at a production facility of this size, it's kind of already there. Like the only like plus side is that they come to me and like, hey, we want a pale ale recipe. Are you write one? I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. And we have like an application on both laptops that we use.
Nice.
That Zeke created, and like super easy to build a recipe.
Oh wow.
And it's really pretty detailed too. So that's what we use to build new ones. And also if we're like have a slow day or something, I'll just write like 4 or 5 recipes on there. Just of styles I'd want to do.
Oh yeah.
And then if Zeke comes up to me, he's like, hey, we want a lager recipe. It's like, all right, a rice lager one. Boom, it's right there. It's ready.
Nice.
So like we have those days where it's slow, and I'll take the opportunity to do that. It's just write recipes all the time. And that was something I did at State so often that it's like I could do it really quickly.
Yeah.
I can be like, all right, Imperial Stout, got it. And it'll take me like an hour from start to finish too.
Dang. That was one thing I was going to ask you too. I was going to ask you like what your approach to recipe development was, but then
I did it so much because at State we didn't have really core beers.
Yeah.
We had maybe 2 that we did fairly often because they were the best sellers. It was the lager, just like a Hellas lager, and fruited raspberry sour. Those 2 we brewed all the time because they just sold really well.
Okay.
But every other beer was a one-off.
Yeah.
So I had to write a recipe every other week, it felt like. So the catalogs of new beers we did was like crazy. And like I was saying earlier, like Robert was such a great teacher in the beginning of teaching me how to build a recipe and being able to execute it too, that it just became second nature. So it's so easy for me to write this one, like, one-offs here and there. So because I don't have to do it every time here, it's a lot easier. It's like when they come to me for a hazy, I'm like, all right, I got it. It's already in the tank, or I'll have it already written out and like just in preparation, just in case, you know? So it just became easy, just having to do it so much at State. Yeah, I just dive right into it. I'm like, all right, I've done this style before or something like it.
Yeah.
And kind of, I'll research a hop, like if I haven't used it before and try to pair it with something I have to complement it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my favorite part too. Like I love writing recipes for stuff. So
that's cool, man. Yeah. That's so awesome. Do you have like, what's like the signature beer here? Like say, like what's drank the most by the people?
I think Palmera for sure is number one.
Okay.
That's also the only other beer that we've won a medal for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we won was it bronze? The bronze or silver medal at California Brewers Cup, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah. So that one, and then we won another medal, and I think that one was for the LA County Fair or something like that. One of those competitions, and it was for a coffee beer we did called Bango Brew.
Okay.
And it was a Kolsch with, I can't remember exactly what type of coffee it was, but that was the only other medaling beer. But this is like kind of like a step up from that.
Yeah.
The LA County Fair is like, oh, it's a cool competition. If you win something, it's nice. California Brewers Cup is kind of bigger than that.
Yeah.
And that's really something. And then from there, it's like GABF, WBC, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Palmera for sure.
With GABF coming up, are you guys submitting anything?
Yeah. So we're doing the Pale Ale, which I think we have on tap right now. LA. Dude, every time I get asked this, I forget what beers we're answering. I always forget because I don't deal with it.
Yeah.
Zeke's the one that deals with it. So I want to say it's LA, Lunar, Palmera. I probably got all of these wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm trying to think in my head. I saw him packaging them the other day. So I was like trying to remember what he was putting in there. I can't remember. I'll tell you after we're done.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. But yeah, we're entering 4 beers. I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what it's I keep thinking, man, it's like we're already closing in on October.
Yeah,
so it's just the GABF just around the corner.
Yeah, I think it's second week of October.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're entering 4 beers of some delicious beers that I can't remember the names of.
It's all good. I know you really like, I said you're really like proud of this one. Like it's really freaking good, and you should be. Are there any other beers that you've made, maybe throughout your whole time, that where you felt like, man, this is probably one of the best beers I've ever made?
Yes. And funny enough, I didn't write this recipe. Zeke actually wrote this one. I was like really stoked because he doesn't write very often. It's every now and then, but his beers are always really good.
Yeah.
He used to work at Bell's.
Oh, wow.
So for many, many years. So the guy's like seasoned, like he knows his stuff. He's very smart, and it's like really cool to work with him because he's got so much knowledge, but from like a different area of brewing that I'm not familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
But like, Bell's, everyone knows Bell's.
Yeah.
They're great. So it's cool having him here. And like, I learned a lot from him too, on the technical side, on, scientific side. And he's really a huge like person to have in the brewery, because I know how well he wants to make the beer, especially from where he comes from, and like coming to a small brewery like this, there's a lot of frustrations, I would assume.
Oh, I bet.
that come with doing that, to coming from a place where it's like they know their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's been here, like everything's really like tightened up. Recipes, like beers are coming out like just really good, really consistent.
Yeah.
So it's been awesome to work with him for sure. So he wrote this one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really, really, really good.
Nice. No, it's great. What's the ABV on it again?
I want to say 7 flat.
Oh, dang.
I want to say.
It
might be 7 and change.
Doesn't drink like a 7 at all.
It's really smooth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The drinkability on this is nice. But the beer, you said the beer that I brewed that I was like, oh, this is the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of cheeseburgers.
Okay. Same.
So I did a couple beers. I did a beer called Single Westie. That was like a single cheeseburger. I had burgers all over the can. I really like the can art. And I did a beer called Double Westie. It was a double cheeseburger.
All right.
With burgers all over the can label. And the Double Westie was like a really, really, really light 8%, or I think it was 8.5% double IPA. That might be one of my favorite beers I've ever done. Like it was so good that I thought I need to enter this in like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything hoppy, because it was like the combination of the hops that I use and the malt being like really, really like lager-like, the drinkability of it being 8.5%, and like all those things just kind of came together on it, and I was super stoked on it. So that beer I miss. We haven't done it in a while.
Yeah.
But that's one I'm like super proud of. That like it reminded me of like the beers I go out and try, like Evan's beers or Ian's beers. Like I was like, man, like I figured something out with this one.
Yeah.
So that was really good.
Oh man, Dang.
I wish we had that one here.
I was
Yeah,
like-
we haven't done it in like over. I think it's been over a year.
Okay.
But-
Might be that time.
It might be. Yeah, we might do it this year. Hopefully.
Then we'll have to get some smash burgers or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. We and the guys. That's what we haven't done it in a while, but we would go and try to hit as many smash burger spots on the same day.
Oh, okay.
I think we went to 4 the last one we did.
Oh, wow.
By the 4th one, we were pretty full.
Okay.
But we went to Goldburger, Burgers Never Say Die. What was the other one? For the Win,
Okay.
and one other one.
Have you ever had Back to the Burger, the pop-up?
No, but they've been here before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
yeah.
Really good burger.
I heard good stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just haven't been over here. I usually go home like as soon as I'm off work because I get here so early.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't had any food truck stuff in a long time, unless it's on the weekend, like if I'm here. But yeah, we get really good food trucks here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had one. I don't know if they still do it, but it was like a ghost pepper aioli
Oh, nice.
on a smash. I was like, oh man, it was so good. Yeah, made my mouth water a little bit.
Dude, they're everywhere.
I know.
Smash burgers are everywhere.
What's your toppings on the burger you like?
For the smash burgers?
Or yeah, just any burger.
Oh, any burger? I'm pretty like I go to In-N-Out good amount.
Oh yeah.
So like lettuce, tomatoes, onions, that's
Okay.
fine with me.
Yeah.
So, a nice sauce. But with the smash ones, like the simpler I think is better.
Mm-hmm.
Like just to really taste how they season the meat,
Yeah.
how good it's cooked. Like what's the burger that comes here? Dude, my memory's so bad.
No, it's all good.
What's his name? He comes here all the time. He does smash burgers, but he only puts mustard on it.
Oh, okay.
And so everything else is like the meat. I think he does like bacon in the meat too.
Oh, dang.
Like grinds it together with the actual ground meat.
Nice.
And so it just has a better
Yeah, great
flavor.
fat content.
Yeah, so you don't need anything on it. But his burgers are really good. His name's Mark, and I can't remember what his Trip Burgers.
There you go.
Yes, okay. I remembered his name and not his company. But his burgers are really good.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm kind of like in that wheelhouse. I don't really go too crazy when it comes to burger toppings.
Same. Yeah, I just meat and cheese for me. But like if I'm doing it like smash burgers at home, then I'll make like almost like a chipotle aioli, but then I'll add like a little bit of like jalapeno juice or like diced up jalapenos in there.
Okay, so a little spicy.
Yeah, and then I'll put but just it's like that and just meat and cheese. I'll put something like that. But a lot of times at In-N-Out, it's just meat and cheese.
Yeah.
But I usually get like a 4x4, just meat and cheese, cheese
Nice.
fries, and a chocolate vanilla shake.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine is 3x3,
Okay.
grilled onions, animal fries, chocolate shake.
Love it.
Yeah.
I dunk my burger in my shake.
Do you?
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with
people
that.
think I'm weird, but it's really good because you get like the sweet and savory.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess that's my topping that I like on my In-N-Out burger.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of burgers, the rest of this, just everyone listening, the rest of this podcast is going to be about burgers.
Yeah.
I go to Hamburgers Nice a lot. That's in Long Beach.
Okay.
My buddy Hyro's spot. Shout out to him.
Where in Long Beach is it?
So they operate out of Good Time, which is a coffee spot, and they have
Oh.
like plants in there also too. But it's a cool little coffee spot on Anaheim. I can't remember the cross street. I think it's like Anaheim and Redondo or something like that. But I've been going there for years. And like
Nice.
he usually has his anniversary party at Ambitious every year.
Oh,
so
nice.
he'll come out
Okay.
and cook burgers. And then Ambitious did this beer called Hamburgers Ice. It's like a light lager that he did for them. So
Okay.
they would do like a cool like collaborative beer for him.
Nice.
But he makes really good burgers too.
Man.
Because you said jalapenos, I was like, oh yeah, I was just there on Friday, and he puts jalapenos in his burgers, in most of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like because I'll buy just like the jar of like the pickled jalapenos and I'll just pour the whole jar on my flat top.
There you
And
go.
just make grilled jalapenos. But I do it so they get like really charred on it, so they have a little snap to it.
Yeah, yeah,
But then you get they get rehydrated with the sauce on top. So
nice. Damn,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
making me hungry. I mean, I just
I
had
know.
half that burrito, but now I want a burger, dude.
see what you did to me. Another one I was going to ask is like I was going to ask like your favorite food with a beer, but I think we know
Yeah, burgers.
that's burgers for sure. What do you love the most about the craft beer community?
Man, I guess, yeah, speaking for myself, that it feels like everyone works really hard,
Mm-hmm.
and this job isn't easy, and we all kind of have the same stories of like things going wrong in the brewery, or
Mhm.
like the amount of work we're doing, and how they're not so happy with what's going on in the tap room because it messes with the brewery, or
Yeah.
some all the kind of I wouldn't say negative, but just like the day-to-day annoyances that happen in a brewery.
Yeah.
Is, I think, the thing I love about it is the relatability. Everybody can relate to it, like at some degree.
Yeah.
So like I'd go see my buddy at Arts District or something. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Man, this thing happened or whatever. And like we can relate, like, oh yeah, dude, I had that same type of thing happen. And we all relate over it. over beer while we're drinking a beer. Like, and it kind of like is a nice escape because of how hard it is to work in a brewing. It's just physically demanding.
Yeah.
And mentally sometimes too. But I just love that everyone can relate to each other's slight struggles and then kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, while we're enjoying a tasty beer that they made or that I made. Yeah, I think it's the relatability of how hard it is to do this job.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Oh.
And just being friends with it. Like, everyone's so friendly.
Oh, of course,
like, the amount of people I've met in the 10 years I've been doing this is crazy. And it's like Kevin, he's one of the newer hires here. He's been here a couple of years, but he was one of the newer ones. And he's like, dude, Rob, everywhere you go, you know somebody. I was like, yeah. I was like, I've been to so many festivals. I've been to so many of these CCBAs and JBFs. And like, just the networking that ends up happening is really fun. And like, that's how you can build like really cool relationships with people and being able to do collaborative beers with them and, you know, get some time out of your brewery and go hang out with them, you know, while still on the clock technically, which is fun. It doesn't feel like you're working. But yeah, I'd say that. Like, everyone just kind of relates to how hard it is, but we do it happily because I think we love what we do. Yeah. Honestly.
One thing I love, like, is that the people, like, there's so many people out there that have had, like, you know, a few people that I've talked to, like, or one of my favorite stories is Josh Hamilton from Hamilton Family Brewery. Like, he sold his house to, you know, he's like, if I make 80 grand, I can open my brewery.
Damn.
Sold his house, moved in with his in-laws, and opened his brewery.
That's crazy.
And now they've been open for 10 years.
Yeah. I've been there one time, actually. Yeah. I'd never been there. And that was one of those weekends me and Vanessa were like, hey, let's go to this brewery. We've never been there. Yeah. So it was cool. I didn't know that, though. That's pretty crazy. It's a pretty big dice roll.
Dude, I know. Like, you know, and it was funny because he told me, like, how, like, he would have to, like, because they, you know, they weren't making a lot of money, and like he had to justify it to his wife, like how like he would go to Bevmo to buy a couple bombers, and you know, and they would be like, he'd be like, oh no, but it was a deal, like you know, didn't have to worry about it, but you know, but it's stuff like that. The people, like a buddy of mine that was a lawyer, was just like, I just want to brew beer, man. Yeah, left his 6-figure job to be a brewer.
Yeah, that's wild to me.
Yeah,
but also kind of cool. Like if that means he's really passionate about it, and that money obviously wasn't a huge factor in that because you don't make a ton of money brewing beer. And I don't have to say that, but everyone that's listening that brews knows that. Yeah. But I knew that going in 10 years ago. I knew, because I was, like I said, I was bartending at the same time, and I would make my rent in a weekend. Yeah. And I was like, well, I have to go all in the brewing thing. I can't do bartending and brewing at the same time because like I was working nights. So I couldn't bartend until 1 a.m. and then go to the brewery at 6 every day. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? If I really want to get good at this, like I need to go all in. So eventually I told Steve at that time, I was like, hey, I'll be here back full time if you need me. He said, yeah. So then I was like full time brewing at that point, gave up the bartending and said goodbye to that money. Yeah. Like I'm never going to see you again, but it's okay. It was like, I knew it at that point. I'm happy with that choice. Like I love what I do. I don't know what else. I honestly don't know what else I would be doing. Yeah. Because I don't have any other skill. And it's crazy because it started because your buddy said, hey, do you want a dishwashing position? Hey, do you want to not be a lazy piece of shit at home? Come wash these dishes. And I was like, it was like a really humbling job to get back after you didn't have a job for almost 2 years.
Of course, yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I was a damn good dishwasher. Yeah. I was really good.
He's like, you could lick that plate.
They were clean, man.
Yeah. When you were at home, were you like playing video games or anything? Or
I think at the time, I think I had a PS2 or something probably.
No,
I'm always behind in consoles, like by years. Yeah. Like the last one I had was a PS3. That was 3 years ago. Yeah. I have not replaced it. Yeah. And my buddy Kevin that works here, he's like, hey, I got a PS4 if you want it. I was like, all right, I might buy that. But that's still like me being a year behind the PS5 or more than a year. Yeah. But yeah, I played video games and stuff. I was skateboarding a lot at the time. That was my other dream before. Okay. Yeah. So I have it tattooed right here.
I love that. Skate and Destroy.
So that's what I wanted to be a professional skateboarder so bad.
Okay.
And I got close. I wouldn't say I got close. I got close to being like an amateur skateboarder. I was sponsored by a local like board shop.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. Me and my friend Greg were both sponsored by that shop, Pharmacy. There's one in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah.
So we were sponsored by the Lancaster shop, and that was really cool. A lot of good memories skating back then, but I had to give that up just because of work.
Mm.
Like I was at that age. I was honestly probably too old to keep going to be a professional skateboarder. I was like 25 at the time. So like most kids now, like if you know who Nigel Houston is, he was amazing at like 10 years old.
Yeah.
So like I'm 15 years older than that. Like I probably had 5 more good skate years ahead of me at that level, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, skateboarding was something I wanted to do before I knew I wanted to be a brewer. But I still skate every now and then. Like one of the last videos we did is me skating in the cellar for a beer we did called Steady Coasting, which we'll do in cans, I think sometime in November. It'll be ready.
Nice.
But they really liked that beer. And then I got to skate a little bit, so it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
I didn't get hurt, which was nice also. But yeah.
That's cool, man. I mean, I love like hearing that aspect of it too, like hearing about like what else, you know, people, you know, especially brewers. Because I mean, I know it's so time consuming that, you know, like if you still have like, you know, those kind of hobbies outside of that, because I know it is really, it's tough to, when you, like if you're working a 14-hour day or 10-hour day or 12-hour day, it's kind of hard to get in those other things.
Oh yeah, it's tough. I remember Dario, I was listening to the podcast with Dario. I didn't get to finish it all the way.
Yeah.
But of him being a butcher, like he was about to be like,
At Vaughn's,
he was about to be good.
Yeah.
And then he was like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because he was like, started to fall in love with this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember him telling me that before hearing on the podcast. I was like, damn, I didn't know that. I know he worked at Vaughn's, but I forgot what he was doing there. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, man. That's awesome. So I don't want to keep it too long, but a couple more questions I have for you. One of them was first we'll go desert island beer. I'll ask you that one. Like, and you can have a domestic and a craft. Like, what would they be?
All right. So domestic island beer. I was thinking about this when you sent me the question.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I was telling Vanessa, I was like, babe, I think it's this. So domestic, we're going to go Coors Banquet.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
For sure. And then this is the one I had trouble with because for craft, I had this beer recently, but I've had it other times that it was released. And then this other beer I've had only once, or twice actually, but it's my favorite style, or one of my favorite styles. So I have a tie.
Okay.
So there's a brewery in Washington called Chuckanut.
Okay.
My buddy Brett, who used to be in the industry brewing, used to live up that way. And they're known for their lagers.
Nice.
Like world renowned. And one time when I was visiting him, I was like, hey, dude, I'm going to rent a van when I come see you in Washington. We're going to Chuckanut. It was like almost hour drive from where he lived.
Okay.
Just to have that beer.
Wow.
It's the Chuckanut Kolsch, and it's amazing.
Worth the drive?
It was worth it. Yeah, I bought a case of it when I was up there.
Awesome.
I brought it back. It didn't last me a week. I drank all of them. But I heard it about that brewery so many times. I was like, man, I got to have that beer. And like I said in the beginning, my first small brewery beer I had was a Kolsch.
Yeah.
That's what made me fall in love with that style. And so I was like, I got to go try that one.
Yeah.
So that's part of that tie. Chuckanut Kolsch. And Highland Park put out this beer a few times already. But it's one of the best, like, I think examples of the style, but it's also just one of the best tasting beers I've ever had.
Yeah.
Is Hand of Josh.
Oh, yeah. It's a great one.
Great.
So with it's not like a goat. What's the...
Yeah, it has like the Baphomet, I think it's called. Yeah. It was like doing like this, and the dog's like right there.
Yeah.
So awesome can art by the way, too, on
great
that. Whoever
artwork.
did that, awesome. But that beer is, dude, it's every time I, like, because Hilo gets it pretty often too. Like if they can it, we usually get like a full case of it. And when like people are asking like, oh, you know, I want something like kind of light, something hoppy that's really good, really fresh. Like that's my go. I'm like, get that beer. It's that good.
Yeah.
I remember when they used to put Buddha's hand in it before.
Okay.
That was like one of the first, I think, versions of it. I don't know if they do it anymore. At least I don't feel like they do because it doesn't taste like it.
Yeah.
But goddamn, man, that is such a good beer. So that's like my desert island beer because it's the perfect like West Coast Pilsner interpretation other than Timbo. Timbo's great because that started it.
Yeah.
But man, Hannah Josh for sure.
Nice. I always like teeter back and forth, like, but just when it comes to because I mean, people have already heard me say mine, but like between like the domestic, it's always like either Hams or Coors Banquet.
Okay, so Hams I was thinking of Hams.
Okay.
So that's funny you say that because I was just thinking of Hams.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Nah, it's got to be Banquet.
It's like sneaky good.
Yeah.
Like you don't really think of Hams like that, but then I remember years ago, my brother and my buddy and I, when we were Taps and Tailgates, when we did all that together, we did a domestic tournament. So we would just like we bought all the domestics we could find at like Total Wine or something. And then we were going through them like, all right, this one moves on to the next round.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but we did it like the number one seed was like Budweiser because it's,
Yeah.
the king of beers or whatever.
For sure.
Yeah. And like all the way down to like however many we had. But Hams is the one that snuck in to the final. And I think Banquet ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad you said Hams because Hams, dude, one of my buddies, Tyler, he was like a Hams like spokesperson or something.
Oh, really?
I'll show you after.
Yeah.
It was on his Instagram. And I swear to God, he was like sponsored by Hams or something. I don't know why, but he like had Hams everything for some reason. And I haven't seen it in a while, but I'm glad you brought that up because that made me think of that. I was like, oh, dude, wasn't he like getting Ham socks and like shirts and stuff? I was like, what did he do to get all that? I was like, I want that.
Hams, if you're listening,
Hams. Yeah, Hams, but Coors Banquet. There's nothing like it.
Oh,
it's a good anytime beer. It's a great camping beer.
Oh, yeah. It's great for that. Like when I make my brats, I use Banquet.
Nice.
Yeah. When I do beer brats, that's good stuff.
Did you know that they're doing a Miller High Life Light?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, the champagne and beers isn't light enough?
Yeah, they're making it lighter than that. I have it saved. I'll show you that after too. I have it saved. I don't know how I came across it. I think I was just scrolling through like a breweries thing and beer stuff starts to pop up.
Yeah,
whatever.
for sure.
That was like one of the things I started scrolling. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, all right, if I see that, I kind of want to try it.
Do you remember those old commercials with the bald guy? He would like walk in. He was like, no, you don't deserve the champagne and beers. So he would take the beers away or he would come and stock the fridge or whatever.
Oh, no, I don't remember that one. It was a Miller?
Yeah, he was a comedian. I can't remember what his name was, though. I'd have to look it up.
Bald comedian.
Yeah. He's hilarious. I'd have to look it up.
All right. You can show me after.
Oh, for sure. Two more things. One of the things when it comes to brewing, I'd like to ask is, do you have what's the most unusual kind of ingredient you've ever used in the brewing process?
Catnip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was immediate because that is the weirdest thing I've used. So when I was at Kinetic I guess I was brewing at the same time too, but they had a thing on Tuesdays called Tuesday Taps.
Okay.
And so every Tuesday you'd come in and one of the beers that we had on our board that we make would be infused with something, whether it's tea, coffee, chocolate, whatever it happens to be. And that would be the special, we don't do like a 5-gallon keg of it. So you only could really get it Tuesday. Maybe sometimes it would last to Wednesday.
Okay.
But it was like a special one-off beer that we'd do. So I was in charge of that for a good 2 years. So every Tuesday, or actually every Monday for 2 years, I doctored one beer that we had. So every week there was a new one. So this is also comes from my recipe development, like skill set because I awesome. Did so many of these beers, which is random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was teas, and we actually were down the street from a tea cafe, so they'd have like little baggies of whatever cool tea they made, and I would just like buy those.
Yeah,
they'd give me like some money from Kinetic. They're like, all right, go buy some like ingredients for the Tuesday Tap this week, and I'd go down the street. They have like 20 different tea options.
Wow.
And I could just buy the leaves and they put it in a little bag for me and I could just like steep that in the beer and then boom, I got a tea beer.
Yeah.
But like a lot of their teas were like gummy bear tea and like really crazy flavors. It was like Baskin and Robbins, but for tea.
Yeah.
They had like crazy flavors, but like really helped me like be able to do cool stuff with the beer we had. So I had to do a Tuesday Tap and I think it had something to do with cats. I don't remember what it was. It was like a cat holiday or something. But
the year of the cat.
But Adriana Hodap, who
Hodap on tap.
Yeah.
She's so awesome.
Yeah, she's the best. We're neighbors. We like live like right down the street from each other. But she worked at Kinetic also.
Okay.
Everybody worked at Kinetic.
Yeah.
I swear to God, all of us worked there. But she was like, "Hey, you should try putting catnip in a beer." I was like, "Really?" She's like, yeah, try it out. Like, it has like mint qualities of it. Like, you can actually consume it. Like, humans can consume it.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I didn't know anything about it. I never had cats. So she was like, yeah. She like told me all about it and what it is. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I did it we had at the time, I was like, all right, what could this go into? I was like, it wouldn't really work with like a light beer, like a lager or something. Wouldn't work with the IPA. It might be like too weird with the mint flavor. And I was like, well, you know what it'd be good? We had, at the time, a Hefeweizen.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so maybe that can blend nice with the clove and the banana character and like subdue the mintiness a little bit of the catnip. And that's what I did. And it was wow. And I called it Jefe el gato.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was the weirdest ingredient for sure. Because
Wow.
when she told me about it, I was like, what? Why would I do that? It actually was kind of nice too.
Yeah. Adrian, she's so nice.
Yeah.
Like I talked to her when she was over at Hermosa, but then, I got to see her. Last time I saw her was, I think, Independent Beer Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was there working the ISM booth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see you every now and then walking around downtown. Like we're that close to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'll either be walking to work to Hilo or walking to like Vaughn's, but we always run into each other. So
Yeah.
I've known her for like 10 years now too.
Wow.
She's the best. Great brewer too. I wish she was still brewing.
Yeah. So yeah, she was I think one of the ones I tried a bunch of them when I was over there when I talked to her, but I remember like is it check yourself? No. Dang, I can't remember what it was, but it was a Czech lager.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so good.
Nice.
Yeah, Czech lagers are bomb too.
I only got to visit her there once, but I had a beer. I think it was Cerberus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the IPA that she did was really good.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was a really good one. Last one I got for you. If you were going to give advice to someone wanting to get into the industry, what would you tell them?
I'd ask them first, why do you want to get into it? And depending on what their answer is, because like we explained earlier, like money is a huge part of it. Like you don't make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And you have to be really passionate about it, I think, to forget about that part.
Yeah.
To really love it, to forget. I would tell them, come do a brew day with me.
Yeah.
For like a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get paid. If you still like it, go for it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best. That's what I would say. Because until you actually do it and see what like the day-to-day is, and also not get paid for it.
Yeah.
And if you still like it, that means, all right, you can do it and you'll get paid. But yeah, that's definitely what I would say. I think my initial answer was going to be like, don't.
Yeah.
But
run away.
I think, I've been doing it 10 years and like, I've only wanted to quit once. So I think that's pretty good.
There you go.
And it was only because just how it was like the overworked part. That's where I was like, man, I don't. And even then, I was like, now that I think back of it, I didn't really want to quit. One, I didn't have anything else I was that like passionate about like doing that I could get paid to do.
Yeah.
Like brewing's all I've known for 10 years. Other than like playing music every now and then. Like we do Battle of the Bands.
Oh, nice.
So with Aleworks, this was the second year we did it. We got second place this year and last year. But like music's a huge part of like what I love. Mm-hmm. But I can't like go start a band right now.
Yeah.
At 35, like, all right, I'm going to make it. I mean, I could try. But yeah, my initial answer was going to be don't. But I think, you really have to test the waters first. Yeah. If you really want to get into it, because it's not easy. And like the people pouring the beer for you are going to make more money than you. Yeah. But if you fall in love with it or you already love it, none of that stuff will matter. Mm-hmm. And it's really rewarding to be able to brew beers and like have people drinking them that enjoy it. That part I really love. I love people not knowing that I make the beer here. Yeah. I think Dario said the same thing. Mm-hmm. Like when he's bartending, he doesn't want people to know he's a brewer. Yeah. Because you get that feedback. You get that feedback. Mm-hmm. But I know he secretly does that because he wants them to talk shit. Yeah. But I'm just kidding, Dario. I love you. But no, I do like that too. Like I like them not knowing, and like appreciating it because like I feel like if they knew I did, like maybe it would influence how they perceive the beer. Yeah. If they don't know, it's like their honest opinion of how they feel about it. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what is that? Undercover boss? Yeah. Like you could tell like people that really hate their job and their boss gets to hear all that, but if they actually knew he was there, they'd be like, oh yeah, I love it working here. So I think it's the same concept. Like I think it's different for me when I go out, like, because if I don't know it's the brewer, like, I'm going to give my honest opinion no matter what, even if I know who it is. Yeah. Like, if I go to Burning Daylight and I go have Dario's garbage over there, I'm going to tell him. But I like that too. I like them not knowing that I make it. So it's their honest opinion about it, even if it's bad, because that's good criticism and stuff I can take back and spread with the team and be like, hey guys, like, I heard somebody talk about this. Centennial sucks in this beer. We should put something else there, And then we're able to, to make a better beer. Okay. But I like hearing the feedback and them not knowing. Love it. It's honesty. Oh, I like for that. Sure. Oh, because you mentioned starting a band and it's like if you were to start a band, what kind of music would you guys put? Like, what kind of band would it be? I would probably do like some alternative, like, you know who Toro y Moi is?
I don't think so.
So there's one guy named Chaz, and he does like, it's pretty groovy stuff, but it's like alternative / kind of electronic / kind of rock and roll-ish. And he put out a new album, and it has like trap music in it. It's weird.
Oh,
like
really?
all of his albums sound really different.
Okay.
So I think that's probably what I would do. It would be a mix of stuff. Like I would have a song that sounds electronic. I'd have one that sounds like just straight rock and roll sounding. One
Yeah.
that sounds bluesy. Like,
Yeah.
I listen to so many different genres of music. So
That's awesome.
I think I would unintentionally do it that way. I would
Yeah.
be like, oh, I want to do this kind of song. You know, I wouldn't like stick to one thing. It would
Mhm.
probably be just a mess,
Yeah.
a mess of genres. Like someone would listen to the album, like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Pop music, and then it's like some weird country.
There you go. Hey, but I mean, it's stuff like that. I mean, it's doing what you like, and it's what you're passionate about. So
For sure.
yeah. Well, man, Rob, I
My
appreciate
album comes out
There it is.
November 2027.
It's dropping. We'll have a what does they call it? Like an album drop party.
Album release, yeah. Album
There you
release
go.
party.
There it is. Yeah. Well, man, thanks, bro. I really appreciate you allowing me to come in here and talk to you and
For sure.
have a beer and good stuff. And man, keep killing it, brother.
I appreciate it. Yeah, let's do another beer after this one.
Oh, I'm so
So I
down.
want you to try it.
Any events coming up at Aleworks? This
So-
will be out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we just did Oktoberfest yesterday. So
Okay.
in 2 weeks, man, what do we have going on in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't think anything. It's Yom Kippur. in 2
Uh-oh.
weeks.
Didn't know that.
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing going up. Just JBF.
Okay.
So I'm sure they'll be streaming it on the TVs here.
Nice.
I don't know if any of us are going. I think if anyone's going, Zeke might go because he
Okay.
also judges too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's certified judge. So he might be going. But yeah, JBF watching party here, whatever day that is. I think they usually do the awards on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, yeah, I don't think there's anything really going on. We're chilling.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, and you got to invite me when you do like how you just did the podcast with Jared and
the round table?
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. Whenever you do that again, I'll drop in.
Anybody, like, and if there's anybody that, we can always talk about that off air, but if there's anybody else that you'd want to have jump in,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I
Yeah.
think it's a cool like segment to like do like a single person, a single brewer one, and then do like a joint one with one you just did one with.
Yeah.
And then like some new,
Oh,
new guys.
for sure.
I know, 'cause I know Danny's been on it before, right?
Yeah, so Danny's been on it, but Danny was on, Jared was on, so like it was cool that they had all been on the show before. and
Oh,
then-
Jared was on there too?
Yeah,
Okay. On his own?
yeah,
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. All right, I got to check that one out too.
yeah. So,
They make killer stuff over there, man.
it's good stuff, man. His German pills, man.
Dude,
Ugh, chef's
so
kiss.
good.
Chef's
So
freaking
good.
kiss, man. So good.
Him and was it John? John, who's like the brewer operations? Or is he still there?
I don't think he's not there anymore.
Oh, damn.
Not that I can.
So
I
it's
don't.
it was
believe-
Jared and who else?
The one guy I know one guy just left recently, moved
Okay.
to Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I can't remember I think the new guy's name is James. I think
Okay.
I can't remember. Sorry if I forgot. I forgot the name.
I haven't been there in a while, but man, those beers are so good. I'm just
yeah.
never in that area. It's such
yeah.
a weird part of the OC. Like,
Yeah.
It's not really Anaheim, but it's not really this. It's like
Yeah.
kind of in that weird spot. But man, every time I go there, though, the beer's killer.
Yeah, I think when I started that episode, I was like, "We're back at the tank."
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
good stuff, bro. Well, thank you again, man. I appreciate it. And hey, I'm looking forward. We can plan a roundtable. We'll get together, and I always like to have everybody just bring like a couple of beers and like what we talk about what went into that one specifically and stuff like that. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks again, brother. Appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi, my name's Alex. I'm a beer tender at Aleworks. I've been working here for about 2 years, and my favorite beer on tap is the Nice and Easy.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, it was a really fun time with Rob. I mean, honestly, can't wait to go back over to LA Aleworks. It's a really cool spot. I mean, really big place too. A lot of seating, so you don't have to worry about that. They always have food trucks and stuff like that too. So definitely check it out when you have the chance. Let's see. I think that's about all I got. Next week's episode will be oh man, I forgot. I believe it's so I did a little bit of a Brewers Roundtable the other day with Abraham and John. Oh, Abraham from La Bodega, John from When You're Brewing, and then also Nathan from Angry Horse was there for a little bit. So we got to talk. And then the PHX one will be after that. And then also going to be recorded with Craft Beer Republic this week. So excited for that one. And then I believe Level Up Brewcade this coming weekend. So plenty of episodes coming out soon. All right, TFM. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend or your Sunday. Watch some football. I'm going to be driving. hopefully sleeping a little bit because I'm not actually driving. So it's been a first. Well, that's a first. All right. Well, cheers to that, fam. Take care. And make sure support local, drink local, find your beer. Cheers.